First and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High in your house, child, is blessing all day. By His mercies, here and consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house, child's body, and two, we're naturally alive, man. I don't want to get into this, man, because I was reading Joshua 10 the other day, and I was looking at Joshua 10 the other day, and also too, I was kind of thinking about this. I saw this verse, and also kind of reminded me of because I saw Judges. I was watching Judges, the AI movie. Shout out to the brother that does it. I'm not sure the brother. Well, I ain't gonna say his name. I'm not sure if he wants his name out there. But also before that, I watched the Joshua movie that he did as well. That they did. I'm not sure if he has a group of brothers and sisters that's collaborators with him. I'm not sure. Shout out to them either way. But that do if it is that. But I watched that too. But it also goes into when you how he's coming back. How when he comes back, he's taking many crowns. Honestly, and we kind of gonna go look into that. Honestly. And before I say this too, man, let me just say, man, because I'm kind of got to deal with that. To stop living I had to stop living comparatively, man. And, I even had to be reminded of this, man. The words are going to be cast upon my own head, man, because, yesterday, too, even today, God realized, listen, just like we shared the real what Beanie Siegel said, about how entitlement, man, that's like the thievery of hard work and joy. Idealism is a thievery of contentment, man, because that's why we shared that real yesterday when I was watching Sopranos, man. Listen, as long as you got one, if we got the Most High in your house shot, man, that is we got everything there, and also too, man. Don't live it can happen, man. Because I was talking about this with my mom. Psalm 73, David was comparing himself. He's like, man, why is the wicked prospering? Why is this things going well for these people, man? But then he said, listen, I saw that end, and they don't have the Most on your house shot, man. So don't do that, man. Because I had to come realize that, man. I had to, still be reminded of that too, man. So, because honestly, that's why the word is a two-edged a sword. Honestly, we're gonna talk about that more, Lord willing, another time. But yeah, man, because when it's really it's going this way and it's going that way, honestly. Because when I'm on here, man, I'm talking about myself a lot as well. So things I need to work on. But yeah, that's neither here nor there, man. But also too, that's why let's get this in Joshua 10 because I just wanted to say that. Joshua chapter 10 verse 42. It says, yep, because this is what's going to happen, right? Because this is the same, the scriptures, that same motif, reoccurring theme. It's like that movie or a TV show or video game, man. It's the same character, same game, but different players, man. Honestly, man, because whether it's righteously or wickedly, man. Honestly, man, because just it's gonna be like the time of Joshua when you that Yahushua son of Nun is gonna be the same when Yahushua comes back, man. Because how all the kings and rulers of the earth and governments, they Second Ezra said, they stop fighting each other just to fight him. It's so that's what's gonna happen, man. So let's grab we're going to grab that later, but yeah, man, let's grab this too. It says, because Joshua chapter 10 verse 42, it says, and all the kings in their land did take Joshua, and all these kings in their land did Joshua take at one time, because the Lord God of Israel fought for Israel. So see, that's why it says, hold your peace and let the Lord fight for you, man. Honestly, more importantly, our weapons of warfare in our carnal, spiritual, man. Whatever spiritual warfare that you're going into, hold your peace and let the Most High in your house shall fight for you. And they are, and they have, man, because your house shall fought sin and death, so we can overcome it as well. So that's why we had to finish a good fight, man. Honestly, man. Honestly, but more importantly, fight against ourselves. Honestly, even what I just mentioned earlier, man, about things I'm doing right now. I had to kill off the old man. Honestly, man. That. What you think that whole Jacob wrestling, was about, man? It's killing off the old man and becoming. And what did he get after that? He got a new name, just like Revelation said. I'll give those a new name. Those are the ones that came over the trials and tribulations. The height of one. Of themselves, honestly, then the height of Jacob's trouble and all the things, those that overcame what was going to happen, pretty much, man. But really importantly, got to overcome within. Like Lauryn Hill said, how you gonna win if you're not right within, man? Honestly, man. So that's the most part. Honestly, you need to fight, because that's what the Notorious movie even said that came out years ago, man. we can't change the world unless we change ourselves, man. We can't even change the world like the world of Israel. Like that's what Psalm 51 is about. We can't change our brother and sister. Well, we can't change anybody, but we can't help any other brothers and sisters before we even help ourselves. That's why David said, "What cleanse me, Lord." So that's just is what it is. And also too, man, like Michael Jackson said, the man in the mirror. So that's the end of the day. That's the ultimate enemy who we're facing. That's what Yahushua came to remind us from. So Joshua chapter 10 verse 42, and it reads, and all these kings in their land did Joshua take at one time, because the Lord God Israel fought for Israel. So see, exactly. So yeah, just like all these Hamitic and kings that Joshua took at one time, that's what the Yahushua is going to do, man. So let's grab that real quick, because that kind of reminds me of what's called the season 3. Even though I did a video about it, on my other channel, on my like movie channel and TV channel. Like, it reminds me of season 3 of The Wire, man, when Slim Charles said to Avon, he said, man, because at the time they were warring against Omar and Marlo's crew, and Slim Charles, when they was in the funeral home, well, where they was at, he said to Avon, like, he said, man, you want to go to war against Omar and Marlo at the same time, and like Avon was like, yeah, I'm home. And that's how the Yahushua is gonna be. Like, listen, you can't. The earth is his and his and the Father. So they listen, like, Then they say earth is our footstool. Like, then they create the world. Like, this isn't a place. Israel says that there's a place that they're gonna dwell forever. Isn't like the place of pleasure, the Garden of Eden. So yeah, he's like, I'm home. I'm taking all this back. And also too, man, when there's also too, here's realize that as men we need to realize too about life is about power dynamics as well, man. Because whenever, like we talked about this in the past before, whenever there's a shift in power, people in power aren't just going to give it up. They're going to try to fight for it, man. Honestly, like, and that's the thing too with it, man. So like, whenever there's a shift in power, like in power dynamics in life, like the set party, they aren't just gonna give it up. That's all. Even in our history, within our kingdom, man, Saul just wasn't gonna give the kingdom up to David. That's why there's so much infighting. That's why when Yahushua came back, even whatever war you think of, honestly, like throughout history, whether it's in scriptures or even though it's his history, and the scriptures or secular history, that's not how it goes. So yeah, people are gonna fight for this. And that's why even with this whole, we won't get into it too much with the whole gender war thing, right? And I think shout out to brother sent me first one for pointing this out, right? I talked about this with my actual brother, and I say this a lot too. We talk about this a lot, especially with the whole men and women thing, like this constant circular gender war, or even the so-called nationality, race conversation. But here's a little difference between that, man, because our people have to realize that it's going to be Yahushua that does that. That's why many men have tried in the past, like you name them, Martin Luther King, or well, he was more trying to come together, but the Black Panthers, or Marcus Garvey, or even different, we had slave revolts that did work, but as far as for the salvation of our people, eternally, only the Most High Yahushua is going to do that, that's why I said no man's going to save you in the curse, in Deuteronomy 28. But that even aside as well, even in the gender war thing, right? Well, women have to understand. Well, if you really want if you really want the power or the quote unquote equality, which they really don't for the most part, they just want supremacy. Honestly, you have to take that power away from men. Honestly, if you want that, but like the Brother Chronicles used to say, most of the time the woman there is usually trolling. So that's just what it is, because they really don't. This is something that they're saying. There's no hate against it's not hate against sisters and anything like that, or I'm just talking about the Western liberal woman that the Mother Goddess, Divine Feminine, the feminist woman, that those liberal women. That's what I'm talking about. Not you sisters on here that's serving the Most High House. Even outside the word, that good sisters out there. We're not talking about them. We talking about kind of like the Western woman, honestly, liberal, that woman. But they had to realize that power, if you want that, you had to take power away from them, man. You had to take, but it is too, they're not gonna do that because so much benefits that they receive by, the current structure of things. So that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying that anything with power, dynamics, it has to be taken. So Um, um, Revelation chapter 19 verse uh, 11. It says, 19 verse 12. It says, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. So see, let's go back to Joshua chapter 10 verse 42. It says, and all these kings in their land did Joshua take at one time, because the Lord God of Israel fought for Israel. So see, that's where that Romans Isaiah 8 and 10 comes into play. And Romans 8 and 31, if the Most High house is against, for us, who can be against us? And even this is like what Judges said in 6:16. Then he say, I will make Midian as one man. And even said in 2 Kings 3 and 18, those taking out these nations is a light, man, honestly. That's why sin and death is the ultimate enemy. And like us overcoming ourselves, that's the biggest enemy, honestly. Killing off the old man and the old woman, man. That's honestly the biggest enemy, man. Because those things are light. It's nothing for the Most High house to take these people out of power. I get it from a natural standpoint, because we've been in our lifetime, our people have been going through it so long, even though self-inflicted for the most part, but still, it doesn't seem that way. But that's a light matter, honestly. But let's grab this Joshua chapter 10 verse 42. It says, all these kings in their land did Joshua take at one time, because the Lord our God Israel fought for Israel. So see, yeah. So see, that's why he's taking many crowns and many rulerships, man. He's coming of course he's come for Edom first, then all these other nations, just like Tom and Joshua, all these kings and rulers, and around the world, he's taking their crowns, man. So but honestly, man, we just gotta be right if we look honestly. So because he's not coming for that. He's coming for the righteous and the wicked, man. Those of our people, and the pretty much righteous and the wicked, honestly, at the end of the day, man. So that's what Jeremiah says: the circumcised and uncircumcised spiritually. So it says, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his head on his head were many crowns. He had a name himself that no man knew but he himself. So and then we see an example of that in the prophets. And when David took the crown of the king of Moab, or the Moabite king or something, they put it on his head. That's what Yahushua is going to do, man. Honestly, that was a foreshadow of the son of David, man. Because a lot of people don't realize about Yahushua. Yes, he came and as a representative of Solomon, bringing peace, but also don't forget, he is the son of David. Who was David? A mighty warrior. So yeah, he is going to come to do that. So that's why a lot of sometimes people can forget and get confused, but it is what it is, man. But anyway, man, he's coming to take crowns. I just want to get into that. Hopefully this is edifying, man. So peace to you, brother, and much love to you, brothers and sisters, as well, man. Hopefully Most High house shall bless everything I do. Let's move with love, the love of the Most High house shall towards each other, and walk in the spirit. Anything that tries to get us contrary to the spirit, kind of fight and resist that, man. And remember the words. Remember what godly words, his word, or a word that a brothers or sisters even encourage you to get, man. So to give, to walk in it, man. So let's walk in the spirit. Let's just be better, man. So anyway, peace.